Welcome back to Miss Cindy's Kitchen. We have got another breakfast favorite for you, and it's from my husband's childhood. He had this breakfast called Egg in the Hole, and we've been making it for as long as we've been together, and we love it, and so do the kids. So anyway, please like and subscribe, and give us your feedback. We love to hear from you. And for this recipe, you will again need a griddle like we did with our pancakes. And then regular bread, regular sandwich bread. And again, you can use any type of bread. But when you're cutting a 2-inch hole for the egg out of the bread, keep that in mind with the diameter of the slice of bread you're using, so you don't have your bread collapse on you. So I have our butter way up on the back of the counter because we have a 4-legged child in our house who won't quit. So I'm going to spray the non-stick pan just as an extra measure, and then in addition to that, I'm going to put a little bit of butter on the bread, and I just do this to start it out so the one side sets up and is a little bit crisper before you add the egg in. So I start out with 4 slices of bread, and if you have to make a lot, that's a good sized batch, because you will also toast the cutouts. Kind of like donut holes are a thing. The little cutouts for your egg in the hole are also a thing. They're really good little toast pieces. So just a smear of butter.
And they work wonders when you want to like mop up the yolk off your plate too.
Yeah, so we will be making 4 of these, and you'll want to look for a cutter that is about 2 inches diameter. And if you don't have a cutter or a biscuit cutter of some sort, you can use a cup. And if you're really desperate, you could take the cap off your salt and use that to cut your toast circles, because it's just over 2 inches. So try to stick with about 2.25 inch cutter. And our favorite is our Mickey Mouse cutters. It's a set of 3. We got it at Marceline's Confectionery last Christmas time when we went to Disneyland and Disney California Adventure and Downtown Disney, which is featured on Travel by Nature, our sister station. We have a whole video about Marceline Confectionery. So anyway, I am going to make round ones today, just because that's the shape most people will be making them at home. And then you just place it in the center of your bread and press down. And then you pull out the bread slice and do that. And put it butter side down on the griddle. And we're doing kind of a medium high heat. And you could even do the crimped side too. Let's see how that looks. And on this bread, it honestly doesn't make that much of a difference, so I'm just going to use the plain circle. These are just some cheap cutters we got at the Goodwill. They sometimes get goods that are still in the package that for whatever reason didn't sell, so they give them to the Goodwill to sell and find new homes. I get a lot of kitchen gadgets there because as you can tell, I collect kitchen gadgets. And I also got a sifter there the other day, which I will be using when I make cookies and such. So, put your toast side down, so let it brown up a little bit. And you could also cook your toast circles, butter side down, like that. And we're going to let these toast up a little bit. And I am initially going to use tongs to flip the bread over because it has something to grip it onto. So these aren't done yet as far as toasting. So we're going to let them get a little golden. And then we will flip them over and put the eggs in. So I'm going to get 4 eggs out. And whenever you're cooking or baking, it's always a good idea to have a garbage bowl of some sort handy, because I cannot leave any food unattended because of our four-legged child here. If you turn your back, she takes the opportunity and runs off with stuff. And she doesn't even bother to hide it. She takes it to the doormat by the front door right across from the kitchen so I can see her gnawing at all of her treasures. Thankfully, she doesn't chew. She just mainly licks things to death.
Isn't that right, Dahlia?
Yeah, she's giving Logan the side eye while he's recording her. So
She's trying to look pathetic, so we'll throw food at her.
So these have gotten just a tiny bit golden. You don't want to get them too done. Just enough so that they're warmed up a bit and slightly toasted.
And you just butter the one side.
I just butter the one side because that's the side that I'm going to start out with toasting. So then take your egg. And this, just use the two-hand method of cracking so you're less likely to drop shells, because this is one area where it's harder to do that, you know, the one dish episode for cracking your eggs into something separate. So just pull the shells apart.
So you just take that and just put that right in the middle of that bread.
Right. And you're going to let that set up a little bit. And then seasoned salt and some black pepper. Going to season this just a little bit. Needs a little bit more on that one. And black pepper. So I'm going to do that to both sides. So we're going to let this one side set up a little bit, and then we will flip it over and cook the other side. So, and in the comments, let us know what your favorite breakfast foods are to fix for your family. And if you have any ideas for future episodes, because I love hearing from you guys, so just like and subscribe. And it looks like our eggs are almost set. So I'm going to flip over these circles. And it looks like they're not quite toasted yet, so I'll give them a little bit more time. Because sometimes they cook faster than these because they're not quite, they're not that solid. So, and one thing that I find sometimes works better for making the eggs cook a little faster is just breaking the yolks up a little bit. I don't know why, but it tends to make them cook a little faster. So.
And that's also in case you don't like to have the runny egg. Which I like runny eggs. I mean.
And these still come out semi-soft. And then let's peek and see if these have. Yep. When you look at the bottom, when you look at this, Logan, you can see how the egg is formed a skin on the bottom. That way you know it's not going to fall out once you flip it over. So you can now take it and very carefully flip it. And even if the eggs break up a little bit, it's still okay. Because they're solid enough to flip. And again, I don't like a hard egg. So we're going to get these while they're kind of medium cooked. There. And so even though it made kind of a little bit of a mess flipping them over, that's because I like a softer egg. I do not like to have crunchy fried eggs. I don't know, that just isn't my thing. Some people like things cooked to death. Like a well done steak. To each their own. I prefer a medium steak so you can still taste the meat. Okay. And then we're going to put some more salt on the other side. And a little bit of pepper. I'm surprised our dog hasn't come into the kitchen because we have a little bitty Chihuahua mix named Pepper. And every time she hears her name, she's like, "What you got, Mom? You got food for me?" So, and these are starting to bubble up a little bit because the egg yolk's starting to boil a little bit. So, I'll sometimes pierce the back side just to make sure it gets all the way cooked. And once these are set, they're pretty much done. So, you can make as many or as few as you want of these. And this pairs well with either ketchup or salsa or hot sauce. So that's what you're left with.
My sister loved to eat them with syrup.
You know, and it's kind of funny because she doesn't like scrambled eggs to touch her pancakes with syrup, so she
Yeah.
will put her eggs in a bowl.
Yeah.
And so I just find that
But
kind of
yeah, she used to eat those with syrup.
Personal preference.
I love to have them with ketchup or Frank's hot sauce.
Yeah. So now this is another quick breakfast you can fix for your family. You can see how these are all done. It doesn't have to look perfect. It just is tasty. And I usually just stack them all up on a plate and then dish them up separately for my family. And we've got the little toast circles. And you can just serve them up like that, or you could put some jam or something on them to sweeten them up. So you can see what these look like. And what I'll do, just like I did with our egg sandwiches, I will cut one open so you can see what it looks like on the inside. So you can see we have a softer egg yolk. It's still set up a bit, but it's softer. That way it won't be too messy to eat. And I often cut these into quarters and then just eat them by hand. And then you could top them with ketchup. And that makes a fast breakfast that you can enjoy even on a weekday morning when you've got to get out and go somewhere. It really doesn't take that long to make a hot breakfast. And I prefer hot food to cold food. And in our case, our microwave is on the fritz, so if it's not on the stove, it's going to be cold. So anyway, thank you again for joining us today. And please like and subscribe. And we're enjoying all your feedback. And we look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a great day.
Thank you for watching Miss Cindy's Kitchen. To get more recipes like this one, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications when new videos are uploaded. Share it out to your friends, family, neighbors, and leave us a comment to let us know how this recipe worked for you. And don't forget to hit that like button. Again, thank you for watching Miss Cindy's Kitchen.